Welcome to Taktik, and today we're going to be talking about the Ares Amoeba Striker. This is Ares' introduction to the low-cost sniper market, and it's actually an interesting rifle. I had a few hours to play around with it, and there's a few features I find very interesting for something that's going to be around $250. Right off the bat, the easiest thing, the most obvious thing here is the Hopup unit. It's actually a TDC unit, so top, down, center. You adjust simply by moving this or tightening this Allen key down or up. The quality of the plastic that it comes with is actually pretty impressive. It's I'd say it's on par, if not slightly better than the actual plastic you find on a regular Amoeba rifle. The AEGs actually. The metal is nicely, well, what looks like a powder coat, and it's actually got machined markings on them, on both the receiver and the barrel upper surface. You naturally get one rail on the top for basically any mounting of optics, and actually the handguard, the pistol grip or the pistol grip extension, and the stock cheek are parts that will be replaceable over time. Even the knob for the bolt will be replaceable. These are all parts that Ares is going to offer as aftermarket upgrades, well, at least aesthetically. Now internally, let's be honest, this is actually a very proprietary gun. So the cylinder and much of the trigger components are proprietary to the design. There is some features from the VSR-10, and there are some features from an AEG. For example, inside this bolt is actually an AEG spring, so that's relatively easy to find. No need to go look for VSR-10 or L96 style springs, it's just an AEG spring. The Hopup unit is proprietary also design-wise, but TDC design, it actually looks pretty cool. It looks very robust. But it runs VSR-10 style Hopup bucking and barrel. Now the original barrel inside is actually an AEG barrel, and the bucking is mated to that specifically. But you can actually put in a VSR-10 bucking from Maple Leaf, for example, and VSR-10 barrels from PDI or Maple Leaf or whomever. Magwell is fairly large to accommodate the 338 style magazine. Magazine has 55 rounds. It's actually a lot for a sniper. So having two magazines, usually it's 110 rounds. You can spend quite a long day shooting without having to change mags. The Hopup style is almost like an AEG in the sense that it's actually a tube there that goes directly into the chamber. So whenever you pull out an unfinished mag, you will have like at least 3 BBs that will come out. But on the other hand, what's cool is that unlike, for example, TM style external mags, the Hopup is not here. So you don't have a ramp that goes all the way forward. It's literally here. It's directly into the chamber, and that's it. So a reduction of components. It's actually a very simplified design. Features for that situation is the fact that you can actually release the mag with your trigger finger. Is it important? I don't know, but it's interesting. The other situation that arises is that access to the chamber is literally there. So you can actually check if your chamber is loaded or not just visually by looking down there, and if you got white BBs, it's plainly visible. You'll also notice that the space opens up much like a real rifle. The problem with that situation, honestly, is that you might get dirt or grit inside of there, so just be careful about that. What's cool is that you'll notice the pull is actually very short. It's about 2 inches, so it's a 2-inch pull and back in. And now that I actually racked the bolt, you actually have a chamber indicator. So that little piece pops out. There's a little red paint on it. Tells you that, hey, well, your gun's cocked and ready to go. So there's that. I actually find that pretty cool. I'm just gonna empty it out. The batch we shot, that we received, consistently shoots around the 375, 380 range. That's relatively low for a sniper rifle. The whole batch did this, so I'm not necessarily sure if it's a compression situation or simply the spring is just a generic, potentially an M110. But like I said, it's an AEG spring. It can be replaced. When we dive deeper into these guns, we'll know more. Because it's advertised as a 400 plus kind of gun, so 380 is a bit disappointing. But as an indoor, if you got a large indoor field you know about and you want to run sniper, this is literally perfect because it's actually not very long. It's pretty handy. It's relatively lightweight too. Once you start putting optics, that's a whole other story. But overall, as a package, for $250, which is about the same price range as, I don't know, the Jingong Bar 10, it's actually very interesting. The Bar 10, for example, while it has a nice finish, it's a finish that can basically wear out over time. This, on the other hand, well, there's a lot of modularity built into the frame, and just the quality of the frame right off the bat is very interesting. It's just a question of upgrades aren't there, so for now. So, well, that's my first look into the Amoeba Striker. Hopefully we'll have more videos of the gun. Oh, I forgot to mention, while the FPS is actually relatively low, it's very consistent. There is basically a drop off of about 1 to 2 FPS per shot. That's actually pretty impressive. So, if ever you can pass by the store and have a look. It's actually a pretty interesting rifle. Okay, so this is Gabriel signing out.